Hey everybody, I want to show you 7 different artists for this current unit of funk that I think are really kind of hip and important, and I intentionally didn't show you anything about them because I'd rather that you had the option to teach us. You can become the expert and you can research them and show us why these people are important. The first is Cristina Cordova, and I'm going to hold myself back from saying too much about these people because I want you to find it out. But all of them I'm a big fan of, but I think they are also probably some of the 7 most significant artists working in the figure today for a wide variety of reasons. Of course, there's psychological, kind of nuances of personality and things through their work. Of course, you can't do the human figure and not have something going on with persona. But Cristina is also great at experimenting and trying all kinds of intense things to change her the sculptures, and I think she's innovative and she does things, but she also explores a wide range of things. She happens to be from Puerto Rico originally, but she now lives on the East Coast. All right, I got to stop talking about it too much. I want you to find out, but I think she's one of the most sought after persons right now working in the figure, and especially doing figurative work and the bust in particular. Anyways, yeah, okay, so that's Cristina Cordova. Another person, so if she interests you, if you think she's, Google her a little bit, research her a little bit, see if you can find out some leads about coming up with a thesis statement about, like, so what's she about? Why is her work important? Etc. Okay, same thing with Doug Juck. Doug Juck teaches up at the University of Washington, and he has for quite a long time. There he is, young and old, right? Young Doug, older Doug. But his work is kind of, as you can see, just looking at it, there's an element of pain and dismemberment and just all kinds of stuff going on that has baffled and intrigued people for, a couple decades that he's been making work, and it's been out there. A lot of it's pretty big too, but yeah, it is. Some of it's painful and distressing. Some of it brings up issues that, are hurtful or about inequity or age or whatever. But anyways, why don't you find out what you think he's about? Just saying, Doug Juck does not use any maquettes. He's animate about not doing anything. He never plans anything. He just goes into a studio and works. That's his shtick. He's kind of like all the things we're doing now. He says, yeah, I know they're good and everybody likes them, and that's the traditional way, but I just don't work that way. So anyways, Doug Juck, interesting guy, interesting work. If you want to be the expert to tell us more about him, please let me know. We'll sign you up. First come, first serve. All right, the other person, Michelle Greger. Been a lot of shows with her, and I am such a fan. To me, I don't know, just these beautiful, colorful, elegant renditions of figures, mostly women. And I don't know, I could go off and on. If there's work that I am jealous about and I want a big piece of hers in my house, it's hers. Anyways, Michelle Greger, look her up, see what you can find. There's things written on her. There's YouTubes on her. Same thing with Doug Juck, same thing with Cristina Cordova. You can watch Cristina Cordova, right, making sculptures and everything. You just search enough. All these people, there's lots of information on them. Sergei Isipov, from Eastern Europe. I'll let you figure out what country and what his background was and how he came to be living in the United States and working as an artist. Probably one of the most high dollar artists right now working in ceramics. Everything he makes sells, and he's Mr. Psychodrama. Everything has to do with like all kinds of subtext, sub-stories going on underneath, right? And usually there's a lot written and, well, not written, but inscribed on top of things. And you might have seen artists that are loose. He's the opposite of loose. He's Mr. Tight, right? Everything's very meticulously done. And eerie and riveting in many ways. And you want to try to get to the bottom of it. So if you want to become the expert on Sergei Isipov and tell us all about him and what this work is about and why it is that he's one of the most successful ceramic artists right now at the moment, tell us. We'd love to know. All right. Beverly Mayeri, local woman, and she's been working for several decades. She's here in the Bay Area, lives in Marin. And her work, too, is kind of these insights into persona, into identity. And she does also, as some of the artists you've seen, there's a lot going on the surface of things that amplifies the meanings of her work. This is kind of out of character for her, actually. This, maybe it has to do with an issue. You need to find out. But you can always tell by the way she renders the figure that it's a Beverly Mayeri. I could spot one, pretty much always spot one. But she presents them in a variety of kind of formats. But within that format, you can always tell it's her touch, right? Okay, Lisa Clegg, completely different way of working. The Surreal Woman, and she's from the Bay Area too, and spent a lot of time at Benicia, had a big studio in Benicia and work, but she's been for the last, 15, 20 years, maybe even longer, on the East Coast, and has raised a family. She got married, moved to the East Coast, and has a life there, and she still comes back and does a lot, but her work is surreal, and it is just all about personas and putting on masks and the multiplicities of people's personality. And she is the queen of adding other materials and experimenting with other materials with clay, and also surface. Does tons of firings just to see what things will do in the kiln that you shouldn't put in a kiln. And she comes up with these crazy examples that are gorgeous, right? But what is her work about? What's all this stuff about? You tell us. Okay, the last artist is Lisa Reinertsen, and she lives right over in Benicia. She was not one of the last, that's not fair to say, but she was a student of Bob Arneson's. She knew Bob. You could ask her all about Bob. But she has a big studio. That's her studio at her house, and she lives not far from, 3rd Street, or the main street there. And her work is all about, if you notice anything going on here, the human figure also, there's always animals. Well, quite often there's animals involved. And so what's that about? And this is right there in Benicia, that's Benicia looking out at the Carquinez Straits here. And on the right side, that's during one of the recent fires with all the colors in the background. But her work is definitely about issues and about things that we're facing right now and about animals and people. But she also deals straight up with politics. She's made work over the years, really profound work that's all over the country and all over the world, that she works in ceramics like you see here, but then it's translated into bronze at foundries and then put up, for long periods of time. And most recently, she's been dealing with issues of things going on right now at the border and stuff. All right, I got to stop talking and telling you. I want you to tell us who Lisa Reinertsen is and what she's about. And my parting shot about that is that if you do, this is the child, there's the child right there, but if you turn this around, you see the child. If you would like to be someone to do work on her and you find her interesting, I might be able to swing you a visit to say hello to her and interview her in person. She's done that in the past. She teaches here at DVC quite often, every so often, like once every couple of years or something. But whenever we can rope her in, but she's otherwise busy doing her work. Anyways, okay, so that's it. Those are 7 options. First come, first serve. If you'd like to do them, it's not a requirement. This is completely, it's extra credit. But if you do a good job on it, you could receive as much as 50 extra credit points. And the other bonus that I throw in is that if you do this, we put it out so everybody can see your presentation, and anyone that responds to your presentation and gives you feedback, I will give everybody that responds to somebody that did extra credit work. If your response is really thoughtful, insightful, intelligent, etc., you can receive extra credit points for responding. Not 50, more like 5 or something like that. But anyways, to get everybody involved and to get feedback to the people that have gone to the great effort of helping us understand our subjects more thoroughly. Okay, enough for now. Goodbye.